92.5.
We're going to have fun. First of all, everybody, Marc Summers is here.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Marc Summers, meet Andie Summers.
No. Spelled the same way?
Yes.
S-U-M-M-E-R?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Remarkably, my real last name is Berkowitz.
Dun, dun, dun.
Brother, sister, how are you?
Very funny and good research, by the way.
It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So I'm a huge fan. I had a friend who was on Double Dare years and years and years ago.
Really?
Braces, 13 years old, the whole
I
thing.
remember that kid.
Yeah,
right?
And does that video still exist?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
somewhere. Yeah, we pull it out every once in a while. It's very funny. So how did you get from there to doing what you're doing now with the Food Network and all of that?
TV is a weird business, and you get typecast. So I was this kid show host throwing green liquids at 11-year-olds for the most part. And at the same time, I was working on ABC on a show called The Home Show, where I was covering the polyclass kidnapping and the Gulf War. And so it was confusing to some people, like, how could he be so serious one minute and doing, the other thing with kids on the other? And I like to refer to myself as a broadcaster. Back in the day, if you were a broadcaster, you could do kid shows, you could do news, you could do, entertainment, whatever. And so I grew up in that era where I thought that was possible. Johnny Carson was a broadcaster. Dave Letterman's the last person who uses that term.
Yeah.
And so I worked in the industry and hit a wall, as some of us do from time to time. And a lady who I used to work for at Lifetime Television became the head of programming at Food Network. And I called her up and I said, Judy, I will pay you to get back on television. And we did a show called It's a Surprise, about surprise parties. Surprise was nobody was watching. But, but yes, that happens. But they had done 3 specials of Unwrapped with another host, Mark Silverstein, and they showed it to me. He said, what do you think of this show? We're thinking of doing it, Monday through Friday. And I said, I think it's great. And next thing I know, it's the longest running show. It's 15 years on Food Network, which is crazy.
Oh, my gosh.
So Rewrapped, which is the new show I'm doing, premieres on the 21st of April, Monday nights from 8 to 9. And we take some of the elements from Unwrapped, go to the Twinkie factory or the cupcake factory or the tasty cake factory. And so round 1 is they have to recreate whatever that item is of the week, whether it's a Hostess Twinkie, and they have to make it perfect, has to look exactly the same, has to taste exactly the same. And then in round 2, they have to take it and make something either sweet or savory with it. And that's where it got super creative. Like we did Entenmann's chocolate chip cookies. Some guy made... can't go wrong with that. But some guy took a turkey meatball sandwich, put it on a brioche bun, but he encrusted the turkey meatballs with chocolate chip cookies.
Okay.
So that was
I'm
pretty
buying
good.
that.
You're buying that.
Yeah.
So a little sweet and savory
Literally,
there.
where am I buying that?
Yeah.
I know now.
And then we took, somebody took the pepper charm goldfish and stuffed a lobster with it. And so, people are great. These are real chefs. These are not home cooks. And so it got really good and tasty, and I gained lots of weight. So.
That is great.
Well, you look great. You're a Philly guy.
Well, everybody thinks I grew up here, but I didn't. I grew up in Indiana, and I adopted Philadelphia, and Philly adopted me because I did Double Dare here for many years. And then I, for the last 10 years, have produced a show called First Dinner Impossible and then Restaurant Impossible. So this is my adopted hometown. I love it to death, and I spend 9 months of the year here.
So are you familiar with Little Dan's, the food truck?
Yes.
And they make Oreo encrusted chicken cutlet sandwiches.
Which I have not tasted, but I've heard are.
Oh my gosh, they're so good.
Fantastic.
Mark, they're so good.
Really? How many times do you eat these a week?
Well, not often enough. Quite
we
frankly,
went
'cause
the one time, but it was amazing. And what he did with the bread too. Remember, he kind of inverted it, where the the white part, the inside part of the bread was on the outside, and the crust was up against the chicken on both sides.
Oh, man, so it was really good.
Road trip.
Really good. Yeah. They put like a little spicy sauce on it, so you've got the sweet and the spicy. It's just a nice balance. You, as a foodie, you would enjoy it.
Yeah, I haven't tried. I got to do that. But see, there's so much great food in the city. That's the thing. It's like, what's your favorite restaurant?
Osteria.
Okay, I would agree with. And you?
Yeah.
Applebee's.
Well, we have the yin and the yang here, don't we?
I know.
Applebee's.
Only for special occasions, Applebee's.
That Applebee's, which is on 15th, right next to it, they're building a cheesecake factory. So my question is, how is that going to change, everything in downtown
Sure.
Philly? It'll be fascinating to see.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Osteria. What's your favorite thing at Osteria?
Oh gosh, I've tried just about everything. The pizzas are so good.
Fantastic.
But probably the boar bolognese.
Oh, yeah, everybody likes that. And have you had the chicken liver rigatoni?
I haven't had that yet. I heard it was really good.
The best thing ever.
Yeah.
Yep. Mark Vetri. See, you got Mark Vetri, you got Kevin Sprague,
Yes,
you
I
have
love
Steven
Sprague,
Starr,
too.
you have Jose Garces, you have Marcy and Val on 13th Street. There's just so much good food in this city. It's
I know.
ridiculous.
We're so spoiled.
Oh, my gosh.
So spoiled.
It's nice.
Didn't ask me what I liked at Applebee's. Cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger.
Say probably a burger and fries, right?
Pretty.
You, Mark, you were in a really bad accident here in Philadelphia a couple of years ago. You look great, but
Well,
talk to
thank
us
you.
about what happened.
Great plastic surgery. August 10th, it'll be 2 years. And I was coming home from a Restaurant Impossible shoot in Kansas City. It was raining like crazy, and the cab driver hydroplanes took me into the center divider of 95. I broke every bone in my face.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I went to University of Pennsylvania Hospital where I don't have a lot of friends in town because I'm working. I'm in and out. But I have one friend who's the head of pediatric plastic surgery at CHOP, Dr. David Lowe, who I went to the Phillies game with yesterday. And he saw me and managed to get Dr. Jesse Taylor, who, if you ever need plastic surgery, and I hope you don't, this guy is a genius. And I never thought I was going to look like this because I could show you pictures. But the genius put me back together. And, I've been very fortunate. I really have. I mean, I'm still suffering from some problems. I have vision problems and I have total numbness. I can't feel anything in certain parts of my face.
Kidding.
But he certainly made me look good anyway.
You do.
Yeah.
Well, and that's your job.
Yeah. Thank heavens for that.
So,
if you notice
wow.
the left eye, if you look here really tight, is a little droopier than the right eye. You can't see that on the radio.
It's not
but you
noticeable
can't-
at
not
all.
that noticeable.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, that was my life in in a cab in Philly. But the good news is I'm alive and back doing TV, which is great.
How long was the recovery on that?
Oh my! I didn't leave the house for about 3 months.
Wow.
I was in pretty bad shape, and in fact, the first day I went out, the doctor said you got to get out and you got to start walking around. And we were at the corner of Broad and Pine, and a car stopped and said, "Ask for directions, sir." I forget what it was, and I apparently gave directions 180 degrees away from where it really was. And my wife sort of freaked out, called the doctor, and said, "What's going on here?" And I had about 80% memory loss. Initially from the impact, and it was scary because I'd go into meetings at New York and with different network executives and introduce myself, and they'd say, "Mark, we've known each other for 15 years."
Oh my God.
So it's about 90% of it has come back. I'm pretty good with just about everything, but it was pretty scary for a while.
Yeah. Sounds horrifying.
It
I
was
didn't
pretty
even
bad.
realize. Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you back.
Thank
You're
you,
looking great.
Steve.
See, Larry, you
I'll
got
take it. As long as you're here, Mark, I'll take it. But okay, and now I have to ask you about Robert Irvine.
Okay, anything you want.
Because he has what I love, and that is a lot of muscles.
He has. Now, what is it that you find attractive about men with muscles? Because I have zero.
But you're a foodie, so I can appreciate your palate, and I appreciate his muscles.
Muscles or a palate. You got to have one or the other.
Right.
Robert works out every day of the week. There's not a day that he doesn't. And I've worked out with him several times. He's a monster in the gym, but he looks like $1 million. And when you go out and eat with him, he's very upsetting because he can eat anything he wants because he does work out so much. He loves desserts and he eats French fries and he drinks beer and he doesn't gain an ounce. It's just so frustrating to be with him. But he's a genius. The freaking guy really knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and I've heard from people who have seen him at restaurants and things like that, just around the city, and they said that every time anyone has ever approached him, he's been such a gentleman and so nice.
He's the sweetest guy. He's really a pussycat. He comes across on TV like this 10,000-pound gorilla, but otherwise he's just because he's there to help people. We've done over 100 restaurants now. We have a 72% success rate on Restaurant Impossible.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Thanks to him. And so he is the sweetest guy in the world. He goes to Park all the time. That's, I think, his favorite restaurant in town.
Okay.
Park, yeah.
I haven't been there. I'm going to check it out.
You got to go. You haven't
Yeah.
been there. Wow.
I'm going to be looking for Robert Irvine at Park.
And he gets the same thing. He gets chicken and mashed potatoes every time he goes there. It's so funny. Yeah.
So what is your favorite restaurant?
Oh, I have too many. The pizza and the bolognese and the rigatoni at Osteria. I hang out a lot at Butcher and Singer. It's sort of my watering hole, so to speak. Rosa Blanca on Chestnut, which is Jose Garza's new restaurant. My wife's favorite restaurant is Amada, so we go there a lot. Fat Ham, which is Kevin Spraga's new place, is great. Marcy and Val on 13th Street, whatever they do tends to be spectacular. So I have a lot of favorites because there's Vernick is another great restaurant. There's just so much great food in this town.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
Really good stuff.
It is. How do you stay looking so thin?
Well, because I can't afford to eat at all those places very often. But when I go,
Hang
I'm
out with
showing
me.
down.
We'll go and hang out. You can eat with me. Come
Okay.
on.
I love
Why
that.
not?
Marc Summers, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Mark.
Thank you.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Yay.
All right.
They've seen I've been doing movies for the past 20 years, so it's just kind of like they've seen the growth of the industry. They've seen my projects, and sometimes I bring stuff to show them, and sometimes they say I like it, or sometimes they say like not good.
All right, kids, everybody bring a friend for a sleepover.
Yeah, exactly.